Hello, my dear friends, brothers, and sisters. My name is Babashola Fateh, uh, and I welcome you to the Life Reading Club. It's a big privilege and an honor for me to summarize some of my thoughts as we just finished this fourth book. The club meets on Fridays at 7 p.m. On WhatsApp or Google Meet. And the vision of the club is to transform the minds of youth by reading. And we read around three main areas: purpose, relationship, and leadership. The leaders of the group are Bro Joshua and Bro Tolu. So, the book we're currently reading is the book by Miles Monroe, Keys for Marriage, and it's a very, very insightful book. Now, I'm going to go right into it. So, Dr. Miles Monroe defines some biblical functions of an effective husband and an effective wife. A husband should worship, uh, work, cultivate, protect, and teach. For my talk here, for my little summary, I want to focus more on the cultivate. The reason being that worship, we do that already, we are believers. Work, we have to work anyway, so I don't need to talk about that. Protect, well, given that men are usually bigger, have more muscles, it's our job to protect. So we already are comfortable with that. And teaching, usually men and women can teach, but usually you still have more male pastors than female pastors. So that means we already embrace that role as men. But cultivate, I will talk a little bit about that, hopefully. The second, for a wife, Dr. Miles Monroe described three things: incubator, reflector, and enhancer. So for this talk, so these are if you see in blue are highlights from the book. One of the things that Dr. Monroe said is your first mission field should be your husband or your wife. Okay, it is like that's one of the biggest things we can do. We don't Ministry does not replace your ministry at home. What you do outside should come from what you do inside. Now, I also want to talk about some key differences that I saw from the book that I think is important to note because they may end up becoming bigger issues as we grow in our relationship down the road. So, what we speak. You remember, we speak. Let's say we have a plan, a vision, a goal. We usually communicate to help other people understand or to help them obey. And so, as husband and wife, or as believers in general, we should realize that men often talk about what they are thinking, what they want to do. Men want to do one thing or another. We are wired that way. But oftentimes, when a woman talks, so there is a difference. So Dr. Morrow said, what your wife is thinking is often different from what she is feeling and saying. So do you ever notice that when a woman like your mother talks to you, you feel some kind of empathy? You feel, like you should maybe give her a hug. You feel like she understands you. You feel like a lot of men feel more comfortable talking to their mom than to their dad. Part of that is because women are very comfortable with how they are feeling and communicating that. Okay. Whereas men are always thinking about they're always talking about what they are thinking, how we're going to do this or do that or do that, and how I'm going to take charge, how I'm going to preach, how I'm going to do this and, achieve goals. Not that women are not driven, no, but they are able to empathize more. And so if you notice, we are beginning to have a lot more leaders because if you look at the leadership of Jesus Christ, Jesus had empathy for people. Jesus wept. Jesus will, attend a wedding feast and because of what his mother said, convert water into wine. So women are in touch with their emotions, and that's very, very important. Now, men, on the other hand, at the bottom I highlighted this. Women remember that when your husband is talking, he's not telling you how he's feeling, and he's usually telling you what he's thinking. So we should know that. So when your wife is a woman is telling the husband something, or even a believer, a man in the fellowship is talking to a woman in the fellowship, and they are both maybe an executive in that fellowship, it's important to realize that you both have a strength. It is important to know how people are feeling, as also to know what the goal is. So the best leaders have what we call emotional intelligence, as well as their leadership ability. If you have somebody who doesn't have emotional intelligence, people don't like to work for those people. So, and I'll say this too as well, if a man is a soldier in that sense, usually you work by orders. Do this, do that, do this. People will not like to follow you except they are compelled, except they are forced. And that's not the life, that's not the leadership style of Jesus. Okay. And so, just basic emotions: happiness, sadness, fear, disgust, anger. Men like to hide their emotions a lot. Okay. So women, as you are talking to a man, be free to tell them how you are feeling and ask them how they are feeling, not what they want to do, how they are feeling. It helps connect with men. Now, something else about women. So I'm going to focus on the incubator. The incubator and the cultivator, a cultivator for men and incubator for women, are very important twins. Okay. Now, it says Dr. Miles Monroe compared a woman to an entire research and development department all in one. So I like this analogy very much. Why I like it is this. So if you think about the way, or let me say, this is how the pathway for developing a drug. Usually it takes about 10 to 15 years from a drug idea being conceived to the drug being available to buy in the store. Now, the biggest part of that work is the initial testing stage where you research and you develop. So Dr. Miles Monroe, by comparing women to the research and development department, she's saying that she carries a lot of weight, she carries a lot of understanding, because women don't forget, they remember things, they think about things. The Bible talks about Jesus' mother, that, and Mary kept all these things in her heart. Okay, so husbands or men, you should know well that your wives or your women have a different skill set. They can think ahead, they can think about the pragmatic and as well as the emotional and see solutions. So if you see in this picture as well, about up to $1.4 billion is spent in that stage of development, whereas only about 50 million, that's less than 20 times less, is spent in the phase that you eventually see in the market, on the store. Now everybody likes to be, oh, I'm the one who made this drug, and I'm the one who is selling this drug. Yes, you may be the one people see, but the real work are the ones who are thinking behind the field. And men, you would do well to support and honor that ministry that God has given our sisters. Some other things: can listening be a ministry? Women, this is for you. Listen, listen, listen. Even when a man is saying foolish things, what sounds foolish, listen. As you listen, you begin to see the value. And also, please go into their lives. Don't say, I'm just in the kitchen. No. That was when our parents went to the farm. Now we're in the day where women are professional. Also, go out into their lives. If they have a function at work, go there. Look very good and go there with him. You meet his friends. You see what he's thinking about. You understand the things that he cannot say clearly. And he likes football. Watch football with him. Okay, let him know that you appreciate that part of his life, and also be there in that space with him. This is a cultural thing. Some people believe that women are the ones who are in the kitchen, men are the ones outside. Well, that is not always true. That is not always true. I like what Dr. Miles Monroe said, that it is the person that has the ability to respond at that time. I'll give you an example. Right now, as I speak, I am taking a break from work. So my wife goes to work. I'm usually at home with the children for the next several months. And it becomes my job to cook. And I cook, well, not very good cooking, but I try. Okay, I wash the dishes, because at this phase, my wife is working a lot more than I am. And the break I am taking, she knew about it, we discussed it, and it is of tremendous benefit to me to take the break. And I believe that it is my role as well to honor her by doing the things that she would have done if she was home. Um, and finally, please nurture each other's dreams. So those are some of the things I took from this. And finally, I want to say that I really want to honor the women in our midst. I remember so many of the amazing things that have happened in my life. Even this outreach called Life was actually brought about by the work of a woman who gave me a challenge when I visited Ilara in Ondo State a few years back. And she continues to support, this initiative. I also want to thank, my wife, of course, who supports this mission, who enables me to spend some time on this. And at times she supports me with money to do this. And again, I cannot do any of the things I'm doing without the support of key women. And also, I want to thank God, for the example Jesus Christ laid. In his day, in that time, women were not invited into the temple, but he had disciples that were women, Mary Magdalene, Joanna, the wife of Chusa, and so on. So God bless you.